All right, welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today we have another segment of 20 random questions. Today our guest is former Minnesota professional manager, Todd Bechthold. How you doing today, Todd?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So how's the retirement going?
It's good. I don't miss the drama.
Okay, I knew something was gonna. But do you miss the boxing at all, or the fighters?
I miss the camaraderie, the friendship, all the people you meet. I miss all that stuff. I miss the boys, the guys I worked with, the guys I didn't work with. The Minnesota boxing community is really cool, as you know. So I miss the people. I don't miss the nonsense.
No, I agree with you. I know about the drama too, man. And, people have brought it up to me too. And here's how the best way I describe it. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and I don't even care. Boxing, and not just in Minnesota, but pro boxing in general. If people want to know what goes on behind the scenes, it's like a male soap opera. It's a bunch of grown men that act like a bunch of women sometimes. And I'm probably gonna catch flack for it, and I don't even care because it's the truth. I've been involved in it just like you were, and there's a lot of these guys just act like a bunch of crybabies.
I think that's truth in life as well.
Yeah, you don't even got to comment on that. You're not gonna co-sign that for me.
Oh, it's life. It's competition. It's people striving to build fan bases. Wanting to look like a good guy, the bad guy. Bottom line is butts and seats, and we all took our different ways of trying to garner that for the promoters.
Okay. All right. So you ready for your 20 random questions?
I think.
All right. I'll take it easy on you. Number one, how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Well, I did just like fitness boxing and a little sparring in the Twin Cities before I moved to the Twin Ports. But then I moved to Cloquet around 2000-ish, and Chuck Horton and Zach Jungle Boy Walters and Chaos Coley and RJ Loss was about to turn pro, I believe, and same with Gary Iyer and all of them. So there was a lot going on in Duluth in the scene right there. Hats off to Zach Walters and Chuck for what they created in Duluth during that time period, because it was hot and it really got me interested in the sport. What can I do? I knew I wasn't from my time sparring. I knew I shouldn't be in the ring because my nose doesn't need to get any bigger. This is a big head, a big target. But I was able to build some friendships, and those guys let me in the gym, and I got to build relationships. And then Jesse Kelly was huge because I went to Hinckley and watched a fight, got to talk to him, and I got the Wright Jones. Kind of like with you, I thought, well, you know what? I want to promote these guys because they work so hard and people don't know it. They think they're getting in the ring, going to punch somebody, be a tough guy. Oh, no one. The tough guy happens at 4 a.m. on Friday morning, starving themselves, getting ready for a fight, working their butt off for 12 hours, 3-4 different workouts in a day, diet plan that nobody wants to deal with. I just wanted to tell that story. And I think that's true for probably you getting into it. Jesse Kelly, who, like I said, got me into it with MinnesotaBoxing.com. But that's how I entered the sport, was just writing and basically admiring the hard work these guys do to do it on a professional level.
No, I didn't even know about that relationship between you and Jesse like that, because me and Jesse have a good relationship like that as well. And we've shot shows and written together and done interviews for like the last 10, 12 years. And he's I consider him a really good friend of mine. We talk on the phone and text all the time. And yeah, he's when you talk about people that are good people in this sport, he's a genuine good person in this sport of boxing.
Jesse Kelly, there ain't a bad word said about him in the boxing world.
Yeah, I've never heard one, and I'll never say one. That man's helped me out with so much in so many different areas of this sport, and he's always had my back. So
yeah, and he hooks you up with cool pictures too, just like you do.
Thank you.
It's nice to be friends with photographers, man.
I appreciate it. All right, number 2. How many years were you a boxing manager?
Well, it was kind of a little off and on-ish. I got into boxing around 2008. I want to say I managed from around 2009, and I know I retired at the beginning of 2019. Got a bunch of your pictures to prove it. You were there.
No, yeah, I was part of your journey. You were
So
part of mine. So
about 10 years in the game.
all right. So how many fighters did you actually manage, and who were they?
Well, I managed the first fighters I managed were Andy Chaos Coley, RJ T-Rex Loss, Gary Stone Cold Iyer, Dustin Bulldog Mason, and Nasty Time Winston Anderson. That was the beginning. I had Aaron Gorilla Green for a time, Al Sands for a time. And then there was a few guys that I helped with a fight or two, but I didn't sign contract. I didn't sign my fighters to contracts. Aside from when I very first got into it with Chuck Horton, we had a contract we used to sign fighters. But after that, my deal with every guy I worked with was a handshake. And if they didn't want to work with me, I didn't want to hinder them, you know. And if I didn't want to work with someone, if they, you know, I wanted that two-way street. Whereas if, you know, they think Todd could be doing something better, or Todd should be finding more money, or Todd should be helping me get this record a little better before I try to find something on Showtime in California and so on. I just wanted to be clean. And another thing is, most of those manager fighter contracts, they're not worth the, you know, the paper they're written on anyway.
Speaking of fight in California, now I'm not trying to tell you what your list of fighters were, but didn't you manage Marcus
Morris? Yes. Marcus Morris. He was a later but a very big factor in my career, and I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, Marcus. Joe Lorenzi, I managed him as well, and I'm very proud of that. We got him back in and got him some of the fights he should have been able to have at the beginning of his career. You know, that's the stuff I love about it. So if I forget to say a name, it's not on purpose. Believe it or not, I'm surprised my phone's semi-steady. I was shaking a little bit. I thought you might come on hot on me.
No. I knew when you said the list, I was waiting, and then I didn't hear Marcus Morris, the whole of the hillside. Morris,
Joe Lorenzi, both those guys need to be on there. Ryan Watson, he needs to be on there. Everyone I worked with, Tony Palmazzani. Did I say that right? He was my fighter, and I mispronounced his name to his mother on the shuttle bus over to his fight at Hinkley Grand. You know, I didn't know it was his mom, and I was so proud that he was going in there. And then she pronounced it correctly for me. She said, "And by the way, I'm his mother." And I'm like, "Oh, I feel great."
Oh my God!
He was awesome. I've been very fortunate in the people I've worked with.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of memories there with a lot of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you ever have any boxing matches?
Nothing. I sparred. My most famous sparring match happened at Lorenzi's gym in Superior. My very last one against half man, half amazing. I made it maybe a round and a half, and then with a couple breaks in each round. That was the last time, probably. I don't know. That would have been 2012, 2011, something like that.
Who was that against?
Half man, half amazing. Eric Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I think you've seen him. He's had one or two boxing matches, and I know he had an MMA match that he fight of the night for that one, right, Jeremy Bjornberg?
Well, actually, technically, I mean, if you really want to get technical, I managed him for like a couple months, but I never even got him a fight, and then he moved.
Oh, okay.
So
you work with him. So you work with him. Was that more when he was trying to focus on the MMA then?
No, the boxing. He wanted to get back in the ring, and he wanted to do another fight. So he called me up, and I said, "All right, I'll take you on." And that was when I had Trevor. I think Trevor for a short time, and that's when I was with Al, and we were good. And then he changed his mind. We had a contract. I was getting him a contract for a fight and everything, and then he decided he was going to move. So he just said, "Forget it."
And that was that. That's boxing.
Yep. All right, so number 5, your best memory in your career with boxing.
Boy, there's too many to say a best, because I kind of have best memories with specific fighters.
All right, just give me a couple then. Just give me a
Okay,
few.
one of my favorite memories, and this is when I was writing, when I was doing Boxing League, sitting at the writers' table. I was sitting right beside the Fistic Mystic Bentai, and it was Andy Chaos Coley beating Anthony Bonsante when Bonsante called him forward. Chaos clocked him. Chuck Horton threw a bottle of water into the ring, almost got kicked out. That was a great memory. RJ T-Rex loss.
Wait a minute. Was that a great memory because Chuck Horton almost got kicked out?
That was just a great memory.
Okay.
It was such a build up to that fight. There was a lot going around Andy even being in that fight against Bonsante, and the masses had Bonsante winning that fight fairly easily. But so there was just so much going into it. Big time underdog. Huge fan of Chaos. But then equally great memory is my man T-Rex loss, his promotions in Superior. That man, he did everything on one of them. He even headlined the show. Even headlining the show. That was impressive. Every fighter's pro debut that I was with, loved it. Every memory's great. Even some of the defeats, like literally crying in the corner, just knowing that everything was given, and boxing is life, and life isn't always roses, so boxing taught me so much. I don't regret anything. Well, I regret things I did during my boxing journey, but man, boxing can help you grow up in a lot of ways, mature in a lot of ways.
So
even as
speaking of memories, did you go out to California with Marcus Morris for that fight or no?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, that was a really cool memory. It's cool how the promotion treated us. They did some of the games. They ran Marcus around, man, for his medicals the day. Was it the day of the fight or either the day of the fight or the day before the fight? They had him on that little tiny van for hours on end, and it's gamesmanship. But then you get there, you meet them, you meet their families, you go through the fight. Marcus, I thought he had a good showing, and it ended a little over halfway through, I believe. I thought it was the 6th round, 7th round. But afterwards, Barbosa's, his whole family came over and were congratulating and talking about Marcus had a baby on the way at that time, and just the coolness of it. And then the approachability of big names in boxing, like the world champs, the current world champs, 4 world champs. They're all there to give you a handshake. They know, if you're in the business as a fighter, obviously you've got a passion for the sport. You grew up watching it, and these are were your heroes. So that was a great experience. I got to travel a few times. I went to Florida on a Top Rank card as well to watch with Gary Iyer. Those are good experiences. Didn't get to leave the country like you, but
yeah. But bringing that up, like you just said, how they ran around you and Marcus Morris in California. They did the same thing to us in Russia with Al Sands. So they played a lot of games with us over there too. So it happens everywhere.
They separated us though. That was just Marcus. Aaron Resberg, his trainer, and then myself. Virgil Hill was there in his corner too, but all of us had to stay at the hotel. They would only take Marcus. No, to their credit, it was a packed van with all the opponents that were getting the business, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So, now, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So you went down to Florida with Gary Iyer. Is that when he fought that Cuban, the Puerto Rican fighter, a Cuban fighter?
Yeah. No, that was it was a stiff fight. He went out in round 1 or 2, but you don't want to hear a great story about that. The Mexican fans, the Cuban fans, fans in general, when we left that stadium, there was 20, 30 people waiting to shake Gary's hand because he was so mad at the ref for stopping that fight. And Aaron Resberg and I were both thanking the ref. And I mean that with peace and love, Gary. Yeah, we all sometimes you just need to be looked out for. But Gary wanted to continue, and the fans loved that. No, it was cool.
No, and they did, and just a short story, quick. They did the same thing over in Poland when Al lost. We went to the after party, and they lined up for autographs and pictures with Al. And I said to the champ, you know, the winner, I said, they do realize he lost, right? And he goes, no, they just love Americans that come over here and will put their heart out there and fight until the ref stops it or till the end. And he goes, they don't get to see a lot of Americans. He goes, so they want to line up and treat him like he's the winner. And he goes, I'm fine with that. He goes, I live here. They do it, you know, with me all the time. So yeah, that was really cool to see too. So it's nice that we can take fighters other places and they treat them like they're, you know, like they won the fight and they want their pictures and their autographs.
No, I like to see the respect.
All right, number 6. If you could get in the ring and box any Minnesota boxer right now in a celebrity boxing match, who would it be?
Well, you're asking if I want to get hurt. I couldn't.
No, but I'm just saying hypothetically.
Well, right. That's active fighting today, or that's fighting?
No, right now. No, that's fighting right now.
Man, well, if it's fighting right now, it's got to be Caleb or Shango. I'm gonna go with Caleb Truex because I had a lot of parallels in my career with him, and I'll let him give me the shellacking.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
It wouldn't last more than 3 seconds because I can run out of the ring faster than that, I think.
But you know what's great about that is I totally agree with picking him, because here's the fact: you go in there, you get knocked out, at least you can say, "Hey, I sparred with a former world champion. You can't give me any crap for that."
Well, I'm not even saying I'd stick around for the punch. I know what they did on one at the Armory in Minneapolis, St. Paul, or whatever, a year or two ago, where the heavyweight stepped in. They announced him, and then he said, "See ya."
Oh, come on! I know,
man. I don't need to be eating any more punches.
Was that you're talking about Curtis Harper?
I don't remember his name. I actually didn't. I wasn't watching live. I just saw a video of it afterwards.
You're talking about the heavyweight. You're talking about the heavyweight that walked in the ring, and as soon as the bell rang, he got out and walked down the steps, right?
That's what I'm talking. That would be me. So now you have an that dream match, right?
All right. Question 7. Who is your boxing Mount Rushmore? Who's the top 4 fighters you would put on your boxing Mount Rushmore?
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna take heat, but I like the undefeated Rocky Marciano. He would be on there. Oscar De La Hoya would be on there. Evander Holyfield would be on there. Sugar Ray Robinson would be on there. Is that 3 or am I at 4?
No, that's 4. That's 4. That's a nice 4 though.
Because the next would be Duran.
Okay.
And Duran bumped someone else off from that list, but that's just off the top of my head.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. You can add one to that's your Mount Rushmore,
well,
so you can have 5.
Roberto, I want Roberto because you never know if you're going to need a mule knocked out.
All right. Question 8. Who's the one boxer that you would be a fanboy to, and you want your picture and your autograph taken with and get a signature from?
Well, according to certain people in the Minnesota boxing scene, I think they feel that would be all of them for me. I got called a certain something sniffer once or twice. But I'm sorry, I got too full of myself in my answer and I forgot the question. Could you repeat the question?
So if you were to be a fanboy with any boxer in the world, where you'd want to get your picture with them, you'd want to get an autograph from them, who would it be?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury?
Active?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyson Fury.
Okay. All right. Question 9. Would you ever go skydiving?
Already have.
Wow, really? How was
Won't do
that?
it, but it was the coolest thing I've done. Well, I've done a few. I can't say that I don't want to offend anyone, but it was a very cool experience.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know you did that. That's crazy. All right, question 10. Do you enjoy doing winter activities like snowboarding, snowmobiling, ice fishing, ice skating? I mean, you live in Minnesota, so do you do any winter activities?
I used to like to go snowmobiling. The older I get cold outside. I like looking at it. I'm not a hater. I don't mind winter. I'm ready for it to be done right now. But I like winter. I'm not an ice fisherman. You know, right now my winter activities are shoveling and snowblowing. So
Okay. Question 11. If you could have one superhero ability, what would it be?
One superhero ability. I'd like to fly. Back to skydiving. I'd like to fly.
Okay. Question 12. Are you a cat or a dog person?
I'm a dog person. I have 3 dogs right now.
Okay. Question 13. If you bought a yacht, what would you name it?
I bought a yacht. Well, you know what? I got a 30-year-old pontoon called the Playboy. Maybe I'd stick with that. The yacht would become the Playboy
Okay.
too.
Okay. All right. Question 14. What is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten?
Oh, the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. Boy, I don't know. I don't know.
You're not one of those guys that try all kinds of
not.
exotic weird stuff.
I pretty much like to eat everything, but you know, like the old show Fear Factor, and that, you know what, eating goat nuts or I'm not. I haven't. I can't think of anything real weird I've eaten.
Okay, so nothing out of the norm then.
Nothing that would surprise anyone.
Okay, question 15. What boxer do you believe is more hype than talent?
Current?
Yeah. It's fine.
Well, I haven't followed real closely since my time in boxing, for fear of being drawn in, and I had it's one of those deals, but this one I'll catch a ton of heat, and that would be Wilder. I think he has a monster punch, hits probably maybe harder than anyone ever, but that's all he's got.
Okay.
Which is huge in boxing. You stop it. So I can shove it in my own face. That's not hype, man. Look at all them knockouts against real foes. So I'm slapping myself for saying it, and maybe I'm just being a hater. Something else I've been accused of quite often.
All right. Question 16. What's the number one problem, in your opinion, in the sport of boxing?
Lack of uniformity. I know MMA gets bashed a lot for how much they get paid in respect to professional boxing. And when people say that, you got to point to main event, maybe co-main. That's where purse differences are huge. But in promotions, I'm sure this has been through time. It's easy to say, get out, back in my day, the fighters fought each other, and it seemed like they did. But just the ability to kind of pick and choose opponents. When I got into boxing, funny, on a old Jesse Kelly forum, MN Boxing League, my old website, that was started as an idea for a boxing league. Whereas if boxing was in league format, you can't not fight someone. You know what I mean? If you're in this bracket and you're trying to win the championship, you're gonna have to fight the other, whoever makes it there against you.
That's why I love when they've had some of those tournaments. Those are really interesting.
Yeah. No, and they draw well for viewership. It's just then you got injuries and things get floppy, and I think that's why they haven't been doing them so much anymore.
Okay. Question 17. Do you collect anything?
Apparently dogs. Aside from that, no, I'm not a huge collector.
Okay. Question 18. What is your favorite boxing movie?
Well, what really sparked my interest in boxing is the original Rocky, the first one. I'm a huge Rocky guy all the way through the Creeds. Although pretty much any boxing movie, I'm probably, gonna watch it 12 times, kind of a deal.
Okay.
But Rocky for me.
All right. Question 19. Who's the one boxer, alive or dead, that you would want to sit down and have a conversation with?
The one boxer, alive or dead? Boy, there's so many of them. I'm gonna go with. I would like to. Can I do two? I'd like to.
Go ahead.
Holyfield and Oscar De La Hoya. I've got some serious questions for De La Hoya, and then I have some serious questions for Holyfield as well.
Okay. All right. Question 20. This is your last question. What professional boxer right now, current, if you could, would you want to be their manager?
Right now, Tyson Fury. I got a feeling his next fight's going to make the most money, so my percentage is going to be good right there.
Okay. Well, listen, Todd, man, I appreciate you taking time, man, to do the podcast, and I love all your answers and some of the stories. I even learned some stuff today from you, so that was really cool, man, and I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, and the truth has spoken.